Movies of Del Rey, and we're here with the director of Kutcher's, the movie about Kutcher's with Ian Rosenberg, and we've got the social director, Tumla?
The social director.
I always forget the L. For almost 3 decades.
Yeah, 26 years at Kutcher's Country Club.
At Kutcher's Country Club. And welcome, guys. Welcome to nice, chilly Florida.
Thanks for talking with me.
A pleasure, a pleasure. You know, when I heard the movie was coming here, this is, you know, South Florida is like the perfect place for a movie talking about what life was like for Jews, basically the New York area, back post-World War II. And you can't get away without thinking about the Catskills. I mean, the comics, the entertainment that came out of there, and the lifestyle that it afforded the people from the city, from the big cities, would run away to. And personally, thank you for making the movie. A lot of good memories. And we were just talking, you told me how you got to want to do a movie about Kutcher's.
Well, yes, my then girlfriend, now wife, and I were both documentary filmmakers, and in 2002 we went up to Kutcher's for the first time. We were both from the Midwest, so hadn't grown up with the Catskills experience. And when Carolyn said to me that a friend had always been going to Kutcher's and we should go up for the weekend, I said, yeah, that would be fun if we lived in 1960s, you know, Dirty Dancing land. She's like, no, it's still open. It seems really great. Let's go up. And we had such a wonderful weekend. And what appealed to us was that this was not just a story about the Catskills experience of the past, but that it was still there, and it really felt like something that we wanted to document and capture before it disappeared. Because even in 2000s, everyone was talking about what will the end be, when will the end come. So in 2007, we got permission from Mark Kutcher to come up and film. And he said, are you calling because this is the 100th anniversary season, which we didn't know, but said, yes, absolutely. And so 8 years later, we now have the finished film that chronicles from the very beginning in 1907 to the close of Kutcher's, its sale and subsequent demolition in 2014.
All right, well, you know, my hat's off to Mark Kutcher and the Kutcher family for giving you the access they did. Because you have, and the way you formatted it, edited the movie, talking about the dining room on Saturday night, and talking about Larry, showing you, and there was a young guy who did the exercise classes and stuff in the movie. I forget his name.
Crazy Tyrone.
Crazy Tyrone.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
I mean, you were the one who made it happen. You actually, you were the celebrity. Everybody hugged and loved the Kutchers because, as Larry, as you said, this was a hotel. This is family owned. The owners would be out there. They'd pick up a piece of paper off the floor.
That's right.
They would greet and mingle and talk with their guests. They weren't locked away in an
That's
office.
what made it unique, more than anything else. Not just the unlimited food and the unlimited entertainment, but it was family run. And Mrs. Kutcher had a black book. These were her regular guests. There must have been hundreds of names in there. Every birthday, every anniversary. And a personal card would be sent by the Kutchers.
Yeah.
And I even mentioned to you that if you were a regular guest, she would come out to the front desk and greet you. She knew you were there. You'd be greeted. And in the dining room, whether it be Kutcher's or the Browns Hotel or the Blickman Hotel, Grossinger's, the family table in the dining room. You could see the family eating the same food that you were eating.
Right.
They were accessible. And I always say that when I go to the Hilton Hotel, Mr. Hilton never comes out to greet me. It's very disappointing.
Yeah, and who would think that Jewish social interaction and family get-togethers would center around food? Food is always the integral part of anything, right?
Yes, Essen, wie gehen Essen. We come to eat.
Yeah. Eat, Tata, eat. My God, you're getting so fat, you know.
Look, you don't eat from each section of a menu, the appetizer, the soup. You eat the menu.
Right.
When we first went up to Kutcher's the very first time, we didn't understand. They didn't understand us for not ordering more than one entree, and they said, "What else do you want?" And we said, can we order a dessert later? And they said, no, what other entrees do you want? Because we had only ordered 2 for the 2 of us.
Yeah. You do have in the movie, you interviewed a guest. I don't know how far back, it's definitely archival footage. But there was a guest, he was talking about, he's eating chicken fingers. And he said, well, this is just the nosh. I'm waiting for my 4 entrees to come. He said, and when I'm done, I'll see what else I want.
Yes.
That was typical. That was not unusual. The term to describe that person, a fresser, a big eater.
A big eater.
And who would definitely say, I'm a small eater, I eat like a bird, and I don't want a whole portion. Get me a platter, not for me, but for the table.
Right.
So food became the center of attention, and the dining room was the nightclub. The dining room was their bedroom. The dining room was the room, of the hotel.
And as Rachel Cranston, one of the historians that we interviewed, said, the food also is another way of charting sort of the progress of the hotel and the progress of the Jewish American experience. It was kosher, even though not everyone kept kosher who ate there. It was Jewish style, but there would be tuna chow mein, there would be chicken française, or there would be chicken soup consommé. Jews wanted to feel like they were both having a meal that they loved and was part of their tradition, but that was elegant and refined and new and modern.
I had, years ago, I had an older Jewish man working for me. This was like in my previous life. And I wanted to take him out to dinner. Kosher. He was kosher. You're talking about the menu changing there? We went to Moshe P. King's. And he gave me a choice. You can go to the Shanghai or the Moshe P. King's. And the growth of the Catskills post-World War II. That was really, I guess, a time where Jews wanted to go on vacation, but you don't want to go today. Where do you want to go? You want to go to Europe. Why would they want to go back to Europe? I know in the movie you talk about the history of how there was a migration, how the hotel industry basically started up there, which I really enjoyed because every movie I've seen about the Catskills talked about the Catskills and never talked about the farming. And did that happen early 20th century or?
Well, Larry says, Larry begins and ends our film essentially, and Larry says that the people ask him about the Catskills, and he says it's the...
Right, it's the story, it's the third act of Fiddler on the Roof. Tevye leaves with most of his family from Anatevka to America. If there was an Act 3, then you would find him in the tenements, in the factory, and he'd say, I gotta breathe fresh air, I'm a dairy farmer, this is not for me. And so there's a place called, there's an organization, an agency called the Jewish Agricultural Society.
Yeah.
And you could borrow money, and they bought land in Sullivan and Ulster County. And they
went there because they liked the view of the mountain, or
they liked it because the
cheap?
land was cheap, and that's where Jews could buy, because there were places in the United States, people don't believe that, but where Jews were barred. They were banned just like blacks or Hispanics. There was prejudice. But here, the land was accessible to them because the land was really rotten, no good for major farming. But for chickens and for dairy farming, it was perfect. And they would take in boarders to make ends meet. And as the owner of the Brickman Hotel told me, that his father said that they would sell off the cows and build rooms. Maybe that was a mistake because the cows didn't complain as much as the boarders. And that was the, and by the way, that's not my joke. That's the way it was told to me.
But you told it well.
Thank you very much. That's the other part that's part of the Jewish trait, humor. So even the dining room, which is the center of everything, there's humor about the dining room.
Right.
It's not just the nightclub stage. And there's humor by the pool. And initially there was humor at the porch, because the Tumler was initially a porch clown. The word Tumler means to make noise. So the Tumler, which will become the activities director, social director, was a noisemaker. So he would dress up in funny costumes. He would dress normally and then jump into the pool with his clothes on. He would take a pie in the face. He'd entertain.
So you got to be a Bissell Meshuggah.
You had to be a Bissell Meshuggah. No, you had to be a Gansa Meshuggah to do this job. And I don't look that way, but yes, I'm zany.
All right. All right.
Put it in the right place.
One thing, and I know you brought this out in the movie, and I know he's going to confirm it now.
Anything he says is the emes,
okay.
the truth.
But you know what the point is, the camps up there that the kids went to, the hotels that all the families went to, you form relationships, at least in your memory, in your head, they last a lifetime. And something we've experienced right now was the door was open before we were sitting down to, have this conversation, and people came up seeing you, and I was at Kutcher. I remember you. You had sat down at a restaurant next to a guy that you worked with up in the Catskill.
1972.
Yeah. And that's something special. That may be lost nowadays.
Well, I think that it's the personal connections, not only with the Kutcher family, who was so welcoming and led by Helen and the late Milton Kutcher, now sadly the late Helen Kutcher, but also the connections and the personal touch that were given by the key staff. So Larry and Celia Duffy, who's was the ice skating instructor, and Justine Rosenberg, the makeup lady, each one of these people have an amazing story and brought their own love and connection to the Catskills and to the Catskill experience, and that's part of what we wanted to capture.
You could make this into a sitcom,
I would love it. Freddie Roman, who also stars in our film, is in a new Amazon sitcom that is about a resort, but it's not a Jewish resort, and it's New Jersey. But yeah, I think it would. We're open. We're open to being optioned for a new sitcom. Indeed.
All right. Well, Kutcher, movie.
Welcome to Kutcher's, the last Catskills resort.
Okay, and now I know it's here in South Florida. Is it just for a week? Or?
Yes, for now. It's a week in South Florida here at Movies of Del Rey and Movies of Lake Worth.
Right.
Then it'll be in California, and then we're hoping to announce future screenings soon. People can find out more about the film at kutchersdoc.com. That's KUTSHERSDOC. .com, or email us at kutchersdoc@gmail.com, and we'll tell them about future screenings and the upcoming DVD release, which should be in early spring.
Okay, and
yes,
I know you do lectures.
I do a lot of lectures. One of them is called The Catskill Tumla, looks back 50 years and beyond. It's a multimedia love story about the Catskill Mountains, not only my role in it, which is centered to the talk, but also the history of the Catskill resort area.
You know what astonishes me? What is the fact that I can actually think back 50 years. Anyway, thank you. Thanks for spending a few times, and looking forward to seeing the movie and watching the reaction from the crowd. And again, Kutcher,
kutchersdoc.com.
All right.
Thanks again, Peter.
Thank you, guys.
And as Larry says at the end of the film, he did it for love, and he's here opening weekend. We're doing Q&As, and we'd love to hear people's love of the resort, and hopefully the film too.
I'm sure you
will. I
will.
want to thank him also for what he's done. A good Jewish word for Klem. I think he's made me feel that way, and I think people who see the movie
this could be like a whole movie for you. This could be one of your home movies.
In many ways,
right?
It is, in many ways. It's a love story. It is a love story.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.